Good afternoon from Jerez, or as they say, buenas noches. We are in a place called let me try this again. We are in a place called Tabanco El Pases in Jerez, which is 200 years old as of this year, 2025. I have had a little Oloroso sherry. I'm getting some tapas, and we're having some beer. And then we are off to a bodega to learn all about how they make sherry. Now, I had the wee Oloroso. It's really funny because it smells like Oloroso whiskey. Anything in a Oloroso whiskey cask smells like that, so you would know what that smells like. The taste is quite thin, it's quite easy going. It's an opportunity to go and see something that I think in whiskey we do a lot of, like sherry casks, and we're right into sherry casks, but we don't know a lot about sherry, so I figured, you know what, let's go and learn. So I hope you're going to enjoy this. I'm enjoying it. Okay, everybody's looking at me like I've got 6 heads. We have just come out of there, where we had fantastic sherry and some tapa and a couple of cervezas. Now going to have a wee wander into Jerez, just up the road, show you a wee bit about that, and then we are off to a bodega to do some quite fun sherry tasting history stuff. We'll see how it goes. Right, on we go. The temptation to stop at every bar and just have a snack, a wee cerveza, is very strong, very strong. We have approximately 25 minutes before the bodega, so maybe time for a wee copa. Okay. A wee bit more sweaty than the last time you saw me because I walked 10 minutes in the wrong direction. These Spanish street maps don't mess about. We are a couple of minutes away from the bodega. It's a beautiful day, blue skies, heated up a wee bit. It's been cold in the morning, but it's now about 16 degrees. I'm sweating under all these layers, but needs must. Okay, we are at the bodega. I just saw the sign there. Now I'm going to go off my gut and say maybe the entrance is on the main road, but we'll see. I went off my gut a minute ago and that went terribly, so don't know if I'm the best judge at the moment. However, we are in Jerez. The reason we're here, I've been here before, so I came here, I got married in Seville a couple of years ago, and then off the back of that we were flying back from Jerez. We spent a night in Jerez and we stayed at Tio Pepe at the hotel. It was beautiful, but it was a Sunday, so we never got the chance to visit the bodega or anything. Now I'm back in Seville just now. I figured 1 hour on the train, why wouldn't we? Jumped on, we're here, we're going to go in, we're going to see what it's all about, and then just, learn a bit about sherry. So that's why it's happening. I think I've walked by the entrance again. This is going really well, really, really well. Let's go.
They moved in here in the 2000. Originally, Lustau was aging their wines in the old part of the city. And in the 1998, they bought this complex that we are going to visit. And it took them about 2 years to move all the wines, barrels, and repair the buildings so they could be aging sherry from Lustau. So it has this very impressive structure that makes them to be called the cathedrals of wine. Not very cold, but summers are long, hot, and dry. So in all, yes, if there is still summer. Remember, there is one in every stop, so you don't have to drink all in once, just wait until the next stop. The first one is the Amontillado from an almacenista that you read about the origins of almacenistas, small producer aging the wines privately, and with a very small production. If the color becomes dark because of the oxidation, the concentration on the aging. So it also concentrates in the nose. If you put the wine in the nose, it's very caramelly. It gives you a white wine. It's like any white wine in the area, in any other area. Fruity is the materia prima. In order to make sherry, we will have, first of all, after the fermentation, to add alcohol, and then aging it in these microclimate weather conditions. So this new wine will be classified into parts. One part of the wine will have an increase of alcohol up to 15%. The wine comes into the barrels. The barrels are never completely filled. There is a big chamber of air left in all the barrels. And the wine naturally will develop a layer of yeast that will be covering and protecting the wine from the oxidation. So that means these wines will never be in contact with the air. So it will maintain the light pale color. You won't go into this dark color. It will be light pale. While the yeast is living in here, the yeast is eating from the wine, residual sugars and glycerins. So this will make the wine to develop into very fine. And fine in Spanish is called fino. So fine in Spanish, fino. That's why you get a fino. Means a fine, delicate wine. Very dry with a bit of astringent character because of the activity of the yeast. So the yeast is marking the character of the wine. The yeast is autochthonous and wild, which means that if you are aging the wine in a different location, there are subtypes of different yeast in the different weather conditions. And that is what makes that, even when following exactly the same process, we can have 3 wines with different organoleptic characteristics from the 3 towns. That makes the triangle or the sherry denomination. Light, fresher, as you have Peter Manzanilla. It tastes so fresh because of the Amontillado at first. Later on the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th criade. Solera is the established wine. Is your production of wine, of this style of wine, is the wine that is ready, finished, is the wine that you will bottle. So whenever you decide to do a bottle, you will take a part of it, all the barrels containing the same wine. You never empty a sherry barrel. You do little extractions from all the barrels containing the same. And everything goes together and into the bottling plant. That quantity of wine you have taken from the Solera to be bottled, we will refill it with wine extracted from the first year. Once again, they will do the extraction from all the first Criadera barrels in here, and these wine all together will refill the Solera. And now the first Criadera will be refilled in the same way with the wine coming from the second Criadera, which is even younger. And the new wine in our case, because this is our last Criadera, will come in here. And go to either Scotland or Ireland, any of the whiskey distilleries. Because normally these will stay in here. They will try to keep them forever. The high humidity is also to protect the wood from the cracking in the summer. Then you will also see a lot of webs all around covering the barrels, especially in the very hidden places. They disappear naturally and we leave them because it's a natural protection against the bugs that will be attacking the wood. So that is why you see always a lot of webs all around in the bodegas in Jerez. So it's not really decorative, it's just it was aging something else to get all the aromas away.
Okay.
But since they have been used for such a long time, it's long time. High, delicate, fino character. That is why it's been given the name of fino, because it's still a very fine wine. It's not floral as the Alcanilla was.
So, accelerate.
It's called Mosto. It's the new wine. This wine is classified in two parts. One part, they will increase the alcohol up to 15, waiting for the yeast to develop, and now this will be minimum 8. So in these minimum 8 years, the wine would be concentrated. Until it gets very brown, rich, aromatic, and odorous. They will go into oxidation. And the result of the fino that they oxidize becomes the Amontillado, the first one we had. Remember? The Amontillado was an accident, and the fino was also an accident. Whenever they discovered that the only way the wine would be traveling was with the addition of alcohol, they put alcohol, but they never had all the tools to make the process very, very exact, precise. So when the alcohol went below 17%, accidentally, because you didn't put high alcohol enough, the wine developed into a film. A yeast started to appear in your wine, which at the beginning was supposed to be an accidental thing. A living organism is living in your wine. You don't know what it is. You don't know how it's going. But it's making a different wine according to what you were making. But if you try the wine, you get finesse. Okay? So you understand it was everything accidental. Nothing is accidental now. You have the knowledge, the people that are working in the bodega is not anymore. They are professional. And they have been to university. They know about microorganisms. Before they didn't go to university. The university wasn't here.
Wow.
Now, this is another thing that makes this wine to develop. You have all these of the same wine, but the wines are not developing the same in every barrel. Those wines that you consider very good in quality, you will age it longer because you know the wine will offer you a lot more. So you're all the time just seeing different things coming on and on the aging. And that is the evolution along the time. It's about 21.5% of alcohol. That won't be a problem once it's gone.
Wow.
In glass window. And we have put some music and lights in here because we organize events and celebrations. The highest in alcohol, still a very delicate.
So whiskey.
Samurai. Most of them, that is the one that we are going to taste now in a very rare niche. This wine was taken from somewhere else, even when they were making a sweet wine, because they had the vision of sherry becoming more and more commercial. But if the wine stays rich and dry as the olorosos and amontillados, they're very difficult for selling it massively. These are special editions they do occasionally. They're very limited production because these first the cooper firmas in the area. We'll make them for them, and we will season them for them with the sherry in them for about 2 years or 3 years.
What do you put in? What's the seasoning?
Depending what they ask for. Sherry for sure, but it could be depending. It's the agreement you make.
Yeah.
What would you then do with the sherry afterwards?
It's distillation.
Right.
The new oak gives a strength to the wine that is not interested, like vanillas and tannins that are not interested.
That's American oak again.
No.
No?
This, in this case, as much as I know, is mostly is European oak.
Yeah.
And as you can see, they're very new, and they will stay in here about 3 years. So very soon this year, they will go. Because it's already these 2.5 or 3 years that they want the barrels to stay in here with the sherry in them. You take the wine out, Lustau sells the wine to the distilleries, and the barrels, the company who had made them had made the selling, because this is the one who has made the business with Jameson in this case, okay? We are only part of the process. You know, whenever we do the work, we forget. They discovered this, once again accidentally. The sherry used to be shipped in the barrels. Not all the barrels came back. The whiskey distilleries discovered how much they could do in their whiskies. So they kept barrels in there, and not all the barrels came in here. In order not to miss a lot of barrels, they used to stamp the barrels with the name of the company. So they will know they were their barrels. That's why you see all the tools in there, to stamp the barrels, so they could be coming back. Though not all of them came back. Side business, near business.
Yeah.
So mostly the cooperage are making barrels for the whiskey distilleries nowadays.
So you have the whiskey? No?
They do. We have a special bottle in there from Ireland, from this distillery, because they made once a whiskey finished in Lustau sherry barrels, exclusively. Special edition.
Of course. And we're out. That was the Lustau tasting. It was really fun, it was really good. I brought my big camera to take some really lovely shots, and just there's no time because you move from left to right to left to right. You don't stop. It's like, have a drink, here's an explanation, move on. That's absolutely the prerogative. They have to do that for the tasting. But fascinating, like really fascinating to learn about like how they produce the different sherries. And we started with an Amontillado, I can still never say it. We finished with a Moscatel, not a Pedro Jimenez, which I was surprised by, but I've never had a Moscatel like that. And it was delicious, it was absolutely delicious, really sweet. And then you get in the gift shop and you see that it's €65, and you realise that's why they finished with that. Clever, 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 clever. It's quite a wonderful place in terms of the history of what they do here, and sherry and its impact. And I think the most telling part for me, being a whiskey guy, was they don't ship sherry butts anymore. You don't get a sherry butt. They season casks, and it's not American oak like they use for the sherry, it's European oak. They season the casks, then they strip them down, and then they flat pack them, send them over, they're rebuilt, and then the whiskey's put back in it. And I can't help but feel that kind of gets rid of the point of doing a sherry cask. Obviously we're drinking, we're having sherry casks that aren't that way anyway, and it's fine and we're drinking them, but it's not the same. It's such a shame. I do wonder, like the likes of Tamdu and Macallan have very specific relationships with bodegas, and I've just realised I've been talking this whole time and the mic was off. The mic was off, so now you're going to get better quality, but we've been talking the whole time. The mic was off, we deal with it. But as I was saying, the relationship with sherry bodegas, Scotch whisky, what's good, what's bad, It would be amazing. I think I'm going to have to reach out maybe to like Tamdu, maybe or somebody like that, who has a direct relationship. So if anybody knows any distilleries with direct relationships with bodegas, where the whiskey is coming in proper sherry butts, none of this seasoned pish, I'd love to know, because I want to see what effect that has. Because when I was smelling the sherries, when I was trying the sherries, they reminded me absolutely of like really nice sherried whiskies, because that's what I know, as opposed to sherry. It reminded me of sherry. There's something just, I don't know, it just feels a bit of a con if you're seasoning it. And then they were asked, does the sherry that's in the barrels then become sherry? And she was like, no, of course not. So what are we having? So that's quite an interesting thing. It was really, really good fun. Excuse the guy carrying my bed behind me, but take what you can when you're in Jerez. A bit of tapa, and then we're back in the train back to Seville. However, would I recommend the Lustau tour? Absolutely. That was fantastic. That cost me €30. I had 7 wines, sherries, whatever you want to call them, and I had a vermouth at the end. There was a Blanco, it was white. I preferred a Roja, but beggars can't be choosers. Fantastic. Get yourself along if you're ever in Jerez. I think for an hour and a bit it felt a lot longer in the best possible way. Beautiful setting. Aye, go for it. And here we are. We are sat in Jerez Square. Tio Pepe's just over the corner. There's police yard everywhere. Some guys singing. I'm about to order some tapas. I will say the one thing they need on that tour is some water or a beer. Just something to cleanse the palate a wee bit more than just dry crackers. Because I had a wee bit of a coughing fit during it, because I'm just dried out. But you can get flights into Jerez from London, I think, peak seasons or off season, I'm not too sure. Seville's an hour away by train, you can do it. I think there's a few bodegas, there's a lot of bodegas here that you can go and understand what they're doing for whiskey. I don't know how I feel about the sherry cask seasoning versus real. I need to speak to some whiskey people about that. They can maybe tell me a bit more. There's people far more informed about that than me, but I just think it's a bit, I'm not too sure. I'm just staring at a tree right in front of me, and it's just got oranges on it. Look at this. And I know in Spain, like in this part of the world, they'll look at that and think nothing of it. But David Lynch died yesterday, and some of the stuff he said has been rattling about my head. And I think seeing beauty in the ordinary and in the everyday is something that you can only see when you come in from the outside. So what I'm trying to say is, just take stuff for granted. The stuff you take for granted, start not taking it for granted. It's not all the shite. Just been off a sherry tasting. Come on, give me a buy. Oh, fantastic day. Right, I'm going to get some food. My train is in an hour and a half, so I've got time to kind of decompress carrying that bag. Brought this bloody camera with me, barely used it. I want to get some nice shots, so if all of a sudden there's a mad montage of shots of Jerez, you know why. Salut. Cheers. Gracias. Then I asked and they said Oloroso Seco, which is, it's like a halfway house between like a Jimenez and an Oloroso. There's a little bit of thickness to it. Sweet, easy, delicious, perfect. Cheers. bar. That was super cheap for a sherry and a beer. But what you find is walking through these streets is that siestas are still a thing in Jerez. Everything's shut. Look. Hinterland in between lunch and dinner time. However, someplace you have to come if you like alcohol in any way. If you like whiskey, you like wine, whatever. Jerez, it's kind of no-brainer to come along and see it. Now we were down there earlier, so I know where we're going now. Finally, we're going to walk this way, up past here, and we're going to go to the left, and I'm heading back to the station to go back to Seville now. But look at that, look, hang on. The Macallan. I don't think I've ever seen the Macallan do something like that. Makes sense. Right, station, could kill for some churros. I popped into a shop earlier on, looked at the whiskey selection, there wasn't much. And I think that was something that I found quite funny, is that for all the influence Jerez has on Scotch whisky, there's next to no influence on Jerez by whisky. Don't know if I'm missing a trick, but it's probably just because they don't care. They don't care. I've noticed it in all the bars that all the old boys, all the youngins, everybody drinks sherry. Boom, one and gun. Like they just go in, order, sip, 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 neck it, away they go, on to the next one, on to their business. It's been a really illuminating trip. I just think that if you want to understand what's going on, you've got to understand what makes the sauce, if that makes sense. And I think that what makes the sauce of Jerez is the people and the tradition. They just get on with it, they just do it. It's a bit like whiskey. Everybody's just making the whiskey the way they've always done it, and hype can come and hype can go, and it can all go big, it can all go small. We are back at the station in Jerez. I could put these on, because probably the bags under my eyes look quite bad, but I'm going to lift them up. So how was Jerez in a nutshell? I think that's the question. It's a weird place, Jerez. You come, and I don't know, maybe I'm used to the Fancy Dan, cherry box, tin, biscuit tin, oh, it'll all be this, that and that. It's quite, I wouldn't say it's industrial, but it's on the cusp. But the industry is wine, it is sherry, and that's what makes it quite weird. You have all these big buildings, and then you come and there's a beautiful front, and it's sherry, or some other alcohol. But the only way I could describe it is like, if you took Speyside, and you condensed Speyside into a town, because Speyside's got tons and tons of distilleries. Imagine putting them all right next to each other. That's the only way I could describe it, because they are literally like, you walk down the street, oh, it's a Bodega. Oh, you walk, oh, another one. There's one right there. There's one right there. There's one right there. It's mental. I didn't have to. I had one day. I booked one tour. I went to Lustau. I enjoyed it. Had a lovely time. Went a couple of. I'm trying to pronounce this word right. Tabancas. I'm going to put the word up on the screen. Edit and David, put the word up on the screen. How you say that? Which are like sherry bars, where they have like casks in the bar. You can get sherry from that, and I found the value in there unbelievable. Like you could drink all day in there and get absolutely smashed and spend about €25. So you have that element of it, but obviously we're not here to get smashed. We're here to taste it and understand it. I think from a whiskey context, there is no whiskey scene at all. I saw one whiskey related thing, which was the Macallan clock. That's it. And that strikes me, it's so odd, because so much gets pulled over to us in Scotland, and I say in Scotland, I'm in England, but Pulled over to the UK, put up sherry cask whisky. Sherry cask whisky, it's the biggest seller. Like, people think whisky needs to be really dark, and so sherry does that. And yet they don't give a fuck. They really don't care. And we don't get what they make. So it's left me in a bit of a weird situation in my head. It's an experience fantastic. I've loved it. I've loved every second of it. I'm sitting here eating my olives, waiting for my train, having a beer, and it costs like €5. Like, it's been fantastic that way. Whiskey's in a weird place as it is. So I don't know. I don't know if I should dive deeper into this or I should leave it. I feel like I could go down a rabbit hole about this sherry cask thing and lose myself in it. And I don't know if I care. I don't know if I care to know. But let me know. Let me know what you think. Train's in 20 minutes. Back to Sevilla. Can't wait. I'm going to have some churros, chocolate, Pedro Jimenez. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. All the best. Bit of a weird video, I know. I don't know how the ending's going to be. What am I meant to say? Like, hey, Jerez is the best, sherry for life. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And all I've got for you guys is my honesty. So, aye. Salute.